Welcome back to On Right Podcast. Here you have Elijah alongside Grant. We're gonna hop into the Lions Hard Knocks. First episode was a day or two ago, and we're just kind of get a behind the scenes look at what the Lions are working with, the coaching staff, new additions to the teams, and it's kind of want to throw it over to you for your initial thoughts on top down from the organization to the head coaches. Just what are your general thoughts on?
Yeah, no, I think it was cool. I mean, I think before I like kind of just really jump in, I think it's just cool to kind of see, Detroit sports has been in the dumpster for so long. So like, even being able to kind of, you're not saying being put on this is like necessarily saying they're out of it. Just with like the Lions in general, but just being in the spotlight is pretty cool. The whole world is kind of see, what drastic improvements that we're making as a team and such. But yeah, I mean, I think with Dan Campbell, he's about what I expected. Um, I will say I feel like he's, authentic guy. That is who he is. He's just, little, just an odd guy. But everybody's loving it, eating it up. I mean, I think for me, like I need to see results. In order to like just kind of be on board with like the down ups and everything. Like, a lot of that stuff that they're even doing. I mean, even the hitting. Like now, granted, I mean, your team was not that great last year. It's probably gonna be a lot of things you're doing out of the ordinary in training camp. Um, but it kind of it is what it is with that. I mean, I'm sure that coaching staff has a plan, and means whatever they're trying to do, they definitely I'm sure they have something figured out. But um, I'll say I think it's awesome that we have so much experience on our coaching staff as players. Now that doesn't always translate to like coaching, having success as a coach. A lot of those guys that have that playing experience, they are pretty, not as experienced in coaching yet. I think some guys maybe have like a year or two. Some, got like 3, 4 years. That's something I kind of thought of. So it's nice to have guys that kind of know how the NFL works and how it is. But once again, it doesn't always transfer to, on field success quickly. Coaching the game is a whole different ball game. And then just Hutchinson, was impressed by him. I'll say he killed a little song there. Um, for what it's worth, number one pick Trayvon Walker refused to sing, and they dumped a whole bunch of, I think, popcorn in his whip. So I just think I'm kind of
Too cool for
biasly
school.
jokingly saying this is like, yeah, that's one of them things where it's like, you number one pick, and you're not really. That's just something that they kind of look at as like, all right, like that's one thing that you're already not saying you're gonna do. So I just think like, even seeing them, obviously that singing the part's kind of beside the point, but seeing the coaches in the block, in the coaching room saying how they think, they really hit on Hutchinson. Like I said, these are NFL guys, so they know what talent looks like. So I might say there's good optimism coming out of the episode overall for me.
Yeah, so I would say it was exciting just to see. This is something I never typically watch this week to week. It's been a thing for the last 3 or 4 years that I've been just binge watching at the end. So this is something that I will look forward to watching every week. It's
Yeah.
kind of to see what they'll roll out. I do think they've to me it seems like this is a little more like cinematic than normal. They're kind of playing into the fact that Dan Campbell's very animated, and they were showing the coaches argue
Yeah.
uh, and just odd things. I would say typically they would be on opposite sides of the field. They had them together, standing near each other, kind of like you said before we hopped on. I don't want to say your talking point, but kind of high schoolish. All the coaches standing around, kind of giving their pointers on things, and coaching by committee, and just I think they're trying to manufacture the toughness, try to manufacture the competitiveness and the I would steal their own word, the grit. They're trying to, kind of
Yeah.
everything they do is try to manufacture that, whether it's the 40 down ups, which is, ridiculous, or whether it is hitting to that degree. I don't think um, most NFL teams are hitting that frequently. They brought that up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's one of those things where I don't know. I don't know the statistics behind getting hit more helps you not get injured later. I don't fully know if I agree with that, but I do think I don't agree with that statement. But whether he says hitting a little more gets you a little more aggressive and ready for game time, I do think there's some truth to that. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting. Just to hopefully we can avoid injuries. I mean, they showed Hutchinson getting dropped in a would it be a chip or a blind side.
Yeah. Tight end.
They say dropped him. That's $23 million and one whole side of your defensive line right there that could be one play away from going down for several weeks just because you're trying to, I don't know what, teach him a lesson or show him to, keep your head on a swivel. I think that maybe could have been done a different way. And then the coach said he was going to do that a few more times. So I do think they are approaching it differently, and I just don't know if it. I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to be a good recipe for success. I just, I don't want to be the Harper of bad news in general, but I also can't buy into it. I just think it's very amateur like, and it's. I think he could be a great asset on a coaching staff, but not the lead guy, not the head guy.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I think and I feel like just like as a Lions fan, I mean, you just can't really like antics. Just not gonna really like excite me no more. Like I said, I will like it was. I can tell he's an authentic guy. Like, this is who he is, right? You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of that stuff, I mean, winning. All I gotta say is winning cures everything. You can. I think he's saying all the right things. I think he's doing what's necessary. Just like having like conversations and such. Just like whether it's like in the team meetings and such, like what we've seen. But winning is really like that's just gonna be the end all be all. And I don't know. Like I said, I think you hit on it just with the down ups. Like to me, I just like my mind went immediately back to high school. That was just like a punishment, and it's like him, doing like a broken wrist or thinks his wrist is messed up or something, and just like, man, I didn't know I was gonna. It's just like, all right, dude. Like I'm, for me, it's I'm not impressed that like 45, 50-year-old doing downers. We saw our coaches and we was going to be doing the same like in our high school. But like I don't know. I think like I do kind of like how they're just like I feel like they're kind of like overemphasizing trying to build a culture. And I think that's necessary. Like in the culture. I mean, the last time that culture in the locker room was solid was probably when Caldwell was there. They had like a solid 4 years, made the playoffs. I think 2 out of 4 years. That was the last time they even sniffed a winning record. Patricia came in and just drove it into the ground. Traded away all these players, like left, pretty much got fired and left nothing behind. So I think they are, I feel you. I mean, some of it does look a little unorthodox. I think they're just like, they understand like they have to like really, like try to build the foundation. But
And I agree with you. They're
careful with like,
overemphasizing
yeah,
trying to build a culture, and I
yeah,
get that, but I don't know and I know the NFL is different than a lot of other, you know, like since we've been watching football, they don't hit like that in practice no more. They've phased that out over the years. So I don't know if this is sustainable. You know,
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know if I do it. I'm just being honest. So, but I
right.
do think and maybe it could work. Maybe you come out and you're the toughest team out there. I don't know, but and just the other point, I don't want to harper on that too much, but another point I thought was kind of interesting was where the hell is Jared Goff? Like he didn't. I don't feel like he got maybe 10 seconds of airtime.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like people want to see him. At least we do as the Detroit
Mm-hmm.
Lions fans, Detroiters, and just what is I thought that was kind of interesting. I feel like there would be a 0% chance if we had Stafford on his team still that we would have not got a Stafford sit down in the living room at his own house for at least 5 minutes. I was like, it's kind of odd that Jared Goff was kind of like ostracized and not really talked about. It wasn't no emphasis. Maybe, and the weeks will go on, maybe they'll show additional.
This is his second Hard Knocks, so maybe they're like, you
Yeah,
know, and I
been there.
also feel like too, it's like I think I know sometimes Hard Knocks, and I totally agree with you, but I do know as well Hard Knocks has been a show that's like we're gonna highlight the guys that might not make the team. Like you had the number one overall pick singing, and then you had the sixth round pick, singing. One guy got a $23 million signing bonus, the other one got 100,000. Like, so I just think I know they're always kind of known for trying to like look at like the either the new people that are showing up or like the rookies, undrafted free agents that are trying to make the team. But I feel you. I think that I do
No, and
expect. Okay,
they have to spread the love around and create the
right.
stories for sure. I just thought it was interesting. He didn't get very much playing time, and that is
The quarter, yeah,
probably the key driving point of whether we
yeah,
are successful.
absolutely, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see, like like I said, I already felt like this episode was kind of short to begin with, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, I think it was like straight at like 45 minutes, where it's usually like a full hour, like 59 1 minute, 1 hour 1 minute, something like that. But um, yeah, I think this just overall, they it's like they're kind of following around Hutch a little bit, and yeah, like I said, I know I talked about it a little bit, but he killed that performance. Like, I was very impressed by how he was able to go up there and just pull
Yeah,
that off.
no, I
He
agree. It was
was
cool. It was
good,
cool,
but
and just watching him go to work, um,
yeah,
uh, versus Sewell
yeah,
and versus some of the bag work, and I just think you could tell he to me he does seem like the real deal as well. And Sewell,
reassuring.
Sewell he came on near the end of the year and had a great rookie. He was a rookie last year. Had a pretty good rookie year. So
Yeah,
I think that is they said still start from still. I do think that's a good thing to look forward to is just the two anchors of each side of the line, our last two draft picks.
yep,
Uh, and hopefully both of them continue to work out to be the real deal. And obviously we got love for Hutch watching them
yep.
uh, over the last 4 years or so. But no, it was exciting to see, and just the hometown hero. They kind of hyped that up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Still living. I read an article a couple weeks ago said he was still living at home with his parents. But yeah, they didn't say the house looked like that. They didn't say
Right.
that. But I'm like, go figure.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
that's
already in the
true.
$500,000 house. So,
Yeah,
but no, I think obviously his dad's a Michigan man as well. Hard work pays off. So I do look forward to what he can do. Yep.
yeah. It was even cool just kind of hearing him talk about his like recruiting. Like he said, he had like 13, 14 offers, and was just like, I already knew this whole time I was going to Michigan. Like
Yeah.
he knew at a very very early age like where he was going to go to school at. So yeah, I mean, and I was just kind of like touching on it again too. I mean, like I said, our coaching staff, got a lot of former players on there. They've been around, been around the block a few times, and just hearing them to say like, we think Hutchinson, like we think he's got it, like because I say that, and I've heard, even just in some of the other shows that I've watched and stuff. I mean, they will say that like the players usually be like they'll know if a player has it or not after like 3 or 4 practices. Like obviously you have some quarterbacks maybe take a little a little longer, just kind of like taking that next step from like year 1 to year 3 or whatever. But they say like you can pretty much tell when somebody's got it or not like very very early on because yeah, I mean they're getting literally thrown. You know, you could be going up against a Pro Bowler. I mean, Sewell they say even be one of the best. Coming up so yeah, what did you think about Jamal Williams? Just like his little thing before when they were breaking it down.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I do generally like the passion. I think he's, last year was his first year on the squad,
Yeah,
and he's kind of in a unique role itself, where he's been, running backs have a very short life, and
yep,
he had success for what it was in Green Bay, and then he came over to us, and then a complete change of tide as far as winning and culture, and so I can see being frustrated and just wanting to try to keep it together, and that I do think also we need somebody like that to step up. That is a key contributor,
yep,
but also wants to be a leader. Wants to take that on, and also be like for lack of a better term, the liaison from the coaches and the players. Where he could say like, somebody has to take that leadership role on, but also where he can. He was sticking up for the coaches then, so that to me that lets me know that there must have been talks on them sidelines of what the hell are we out here doing, you
yeah,
know. And for him, because that I'm reading in between the lines here, because he don't bring that up unless somebody's complaining about the hidden drills and what all that
yeah,
good stuff. So that
yeah.
was that was a reactionary emotion, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So and not wanting to lose it week 1 or practice 1.
Right.
So
Because I think, man, it's like,
just to put a bow tie on it real
oh,
quick,
sorry.
keep that thought. I think you need that player liaison where he can stick up for the coaches at that point, but maybe a little bit down the line, he could also go to them and say, hey, maybe you could ease up
Yeah.
or X, Y, Z is coming from the team. And
Oh,
that's
that's a
kind of,
good point. Great way to like, and I agree with that. I mean, that's a great way to like to put it. I mean, to kind of position yourself as that guy that can, be a leader for the players. Also, kind of go back to the coaches and be like, hey, it's week 7. Pads really need pads. It's Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, yeah, well, you hit it on the head. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes and how that unfolds. Because on the flip side, it's like, all right, like I do feel like when you're as bad as they are, as they were last year, I mean, I feel like you do kind of gotta do a little more. Like, they're, probably you're gonna do a little bit more hitting than Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's like that's a well-oiled machine, to where it's like, here, got some uncertainty at the quarterback position. Defense was last in every category pretty much last year. Like there are some, there gotta be some kind of disconnect where people like they try to figure out like, do y'all want to really hit people and like stop people or like what? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, hopefully it's like, that's early training camp. They kind of just, easing in. Like now you got pregame or preseason games coming in, so you don't want to be, worst thing. Like obviously, you never want anybody to get hurt, and no matter what the time or place is. But there ain't nothing worse than watching a starter go down in practice, from like a contact drill and be out for set amount of time, or go out in like a preseason game. Like you kind of, if this don't happen, you want that at
Right.
least. All right, like it was week 7, week 9, something like that, and something just kind of went wrong. But you're right, they do got to be mindful of that because that's one thing. Like last year, I mean, you had, I think Hawkinson was hurt for the rest of the season pretty much. DeAndre Swift was hurt on and off. Golf was hurt. Like, we had,
Yeah.
Okuda was hurt. So,
No, I agree. But according to them, if we do the most hitting, we will be this healthy.
yeah. But, yeah, like I said, it's got to be a fine line.
So yeah,
I
no,
think,
no, I agree. I'm being a little, facetious there, but I think,
right.
I do think, I don't know. I'm just like, I do think you can turn up the intensity with the hitting, but also ultimately it comes down to game plan. Because I'd be willing to bet at this point, damn near every one of them boys can tackle, men can tackle.
Yeah.
It probably comes down to the players we actually have, and then the scheme, and it gets a lot bigger. I don't want this to be one of them. When things aren't going well, the coaches are turning it all on the players. Still, when coaches make things work with subpar teams all the time, if
Yeah.
you have a good enough system. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I just don't want to be sold the fool's gold of, hey, we're going to be the toughest team out there because
Right.
it comes we have to win games.
The vibe I'm getting is like scrappy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't, that's kind of like, you know, like you want to be physical, but like I said, it is, the hitting you're going to need some in training camp, but it is kind of like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys going to the ground, like they was out there like really, really, running through each other and stuff, and you know, but to me, sometimes I do kind of get the vibe. It's just like, oh, we're gonna be scrappy, we're gonna bite kneecaps, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like
Mm-hmm.
instead of like, no, we're just gonna like, be more physical than you are at the point of attack. We're gonna win the line of scrimmage. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of, talking out loud there, just being a little bit pessimistic, but that's the vibe I get too.
Yeah, no. So I mean, moving forward, is there anything in particular you kind of you would like to see highlighted, or them spend some time with a certain player or coach, or
Yeah.
kind of anything along those lines?
Well, next week I want a full hour. First of all, like whenever Detroit sports is involved, just never know what the product gonna really look like. But yeah, no, I think I definitely want to see more. Probably seen enough of Hutchinson. I mean that's so I think I probably want to see more just like Swift. Um, I mean, I'd like to just see some of the people on defense, and I think they just got like or even just like DJ Shark, like some new people that just showed up. I'd like to just kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
hear
we don't know them at all.
yeah, just kind of like I want to hear somebody that wasn't there last year, and I want to just hear like how they feel about things so far since like being there, and just like cause I do think I feel like they are like the coach is moving in the right direction, but it was also in the dumpster, so like it ain't really nowhere but up from here. So, yeah, I just think anybody that like you just not going to already kind of hear about, you know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be cool to just kind of be able to, like, we know they're going to look at like the late round guys. They're going to be looking at like undrafted free agents, like I said earlier. They're going to get, some good run here and there. But I do hope it's like some people on our team, kind of like, Amon St. Brown, kind of like unsung hero. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it'd be good to just kind of be able to see more of them.
Yeah, no. So St. Brown was top of my list. I think something like this. He had a very, very, very solid rookie year. Going to be number one this year.
Yeah.
The entire year. So I kind of see him coming to his own, and also this could kind of be how he can make a little star for himself, name for himself, where you're on HBO with I don't know 30 million people watching you. So I think this would be so exciting time for him. Jameis Williams. I know he's injured. Probably won't see him, but even spend some time with him, see him doing some rehab. See what that timeline looks like, where his head is.
He's wearing number 9. I don't know how I feel about that. supposed to leave that number in case he come back for us a couple of years
Or
from
because
now.
we supposed to retire that shit. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if he's done enough to do that, but I think they should. I mean, I do feel like he's probably like second or third best player in Lions history all time. I think
That's
that's
interesting. I didn't know he was wearing 9, but no, I thought I seen him saying he was wearing some shit. I don't know. I
oh,
thought I seen yeah.
I thought I see him wearing
But,
like 18 or something like
yeah,
that. He
because
was wearing like
he
89.
was because Randy Moss and T.O. or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Either way, I wouldn't mind seeing just some rehab or where his mindset is, and because
yeah.
being quite honest, this is a whole separate point. But he didn't seem all that happy that we drafted him. I felt like he
I
was
think
kind of mopey to
I think
certain,
he
but
was mad because he went after Olave and Wilson, and if he didn't get
yeah,
hurt, he knew that wasn't going to be the case.
right,
Because when
right.
they asked him at the interview, interviewed him, he was like, "He ain't gonna speak on that right now." That's what he told the lady.
And that's
And he did just like
so
kind of like
funny.
jump in the crowd. A whole bunch of Lions fans started jumping with him and dancing with him. But yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
if he
No,
never
no, no.
saw
In
it,
general, I meant like I can show you these pictures. I can send them later, but it's him and Hutch. Hutch is the biggest smile in the world with his jersey, and he's like.
yeah, yeah, he probably
But
still.
no, in general, I wouldn't mind. Maybe as like I brought up golf earlier. But I also think side point of all of this, I do think they're gonna kind of treat Dan Campbell as like a player, where he's gonna be a
Oh,
focal point.
yeah,
You know, I'm sure we're gonna see them dogs that supposedly tripped them. I'm sure we're gonna see. They're gonna, kind of. Uh, he's part of our brand.
mm-hmm.
He's part of the reason why we got this Hard Knocks in the first place. And I
Right,
just hope at the end of the day, we're not becoming we're not being on here being mocked, more or less. I think in general, like you said, it was possibly shorter. He's on there just trying to make like a kind of like a meathead, for lack of a better term.
yeah,
And I just hope we're not in here for the wrong reasons or being, everybody's rooting for us, kind of, to watch the freight train crash.
yeah.
And that's kind of, I don't know, I kind of feel that way right now. And I hope I'm completely sold and, we come out fight off the gates hot. But, I just really I'm even trying not to be pessimistic. I'm trying hard to not sound pessimistic. It's just, I think in general, I think this could get out of hand. You could lose the team hitting like this and not winning games.
When it
Yeah.
cures off, man. No, I feel you. I mean, I'm like I said, it's taking a lot for me to just be like, to not just kind of laugh and dismiss like the down ups and the tackling like that. I mean, that was kind of nuts.
We're playing a gravel pit. What did he say?
Yeah, like
Asphalt.
yeah, fighting
Three
people,
assholes in the toenail.
fighting people in hell. Yeah, all that. I mean, that like I said, it's all
Yeah.
cool, but until Jalen
I
Hurts,
think I didn't want. I don't want to just. I want to give them the credit. I want to plagiarize, but I think Pat McAfee and them said it best. Like it is what people think an NFL coach would sound like. Whatever. That's what I'm saying. It's all like theatrical almost. It's like, and it's kind of crazy. And
yeah,
I think this type of stuff only works if you win.
right.
And I don't know. I
He's the
think
only coach to get away with
what we
like
got the Commanders out the gate. So
Eagles.
Eagles. Oh shit, we're
Yeah.
definitely a lot. So starting our own one, and
I think the only coach that's able to like go off, like be talking all crazy like this and get away with it is Tomlin because he literally hasn't had a losing season since like he got there. So like,
yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
I
I'm
bet you.
one thing that came to my mind while watching it yesterday, I couldn't stop thinking about it. As soon as I like turned on, I'm like, man, how great would it be if we paid Megatron and he was out here coaching receivers?
Yeah.
I've heard him say in 2 different interviews in the last 6 months that he would be like that's something he would definitely enjoy. He still lives in Detroit. He's doing his own thing, entrepreneurial stuff. It just
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet. Who we got now? I think it was Antoine Randall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He great player. I just
No, no, no. I
got
agree
a
with you.
top five. We got a top five Hall of Famer. That's literally probably like what, maybe a half hour away. Just like, I mean, yeah, for some odd reason,
Standby.
we
100%.
yeah, we let $1 million just kind of hold. I mean, I feel like personally hold back like success that this city craves and deserves. So
Yeah.
just my
Right.
two
And
cents.
tarnish like a relationship, and
Yeah.
and that's just a bad look for like like a top 5 player of your franchise of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very bad look,
Right.
and you're gonna want him to stand by you as the years go along, when he's, when Hall of Fame jackets come and his speeches, and he's on all that shit. You don't want him to turn around and look bad upon you.
Yeah.
Similarly, it reminds me, a whole different thing, but it reminds me of the Chris Webber Michigan deal, where you just gotta sit down and figure the shit out because it's the best for both parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. I mean, I think I bet to think of something that's. I just think that's one like if you want to really turn this culture around and like really have like the city behind you. I mean, change fans like you and me from just being so pessimistic. I mean, but it's just been one of the things where like they don't even do like the most simple things correctly. So you would hope that so I got a small sense of optimism just from how the drafting went, just how everything's been kind of unfolding. But I still just think the product. I think we're still far away from even being a competitive product in the field, and I think that hopefully we can start. So we've been making some changes here and there. Hopefully we can start to make more in specific areas to just start to gain more momentum in the right direction.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the building blocks. I think we have some of the building blocks for the players. I will give them credit on that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quick to. I would still say we should have probably never traded up to get rid of all the picks and all that stuff. But I mean, I will say I do think we got a solid player.
I agree.
But I will say we do seem to be making some steps in the right direction. It just might not be as fast as
Yeah.
it could be. But yeah.
How many wins do you think this year? Kind of wrap up with that.
Yep. Sorry, you broke up a little bit.
How many wins? I just want to ask. How many wins?
How many wins I predict? I think we'll be at 3 last year. I mean, I'm gonna give us like 5.
I'm gonna say 6-11.
Yeah. And he ain't gonna get fired.
No.
Nope.
No, he'd have to do that the following year they'd probably be like, okay.
Well, all right. So minimum amount of if he runs it back 3 wins again, they gonna bring him back.
They shouldn't. I would say you gotta almost like not
you
double.
Gotta basically damn near double.
At least, you gotta 80% change and shift in win totals from the previous year. Yeah, something like that. I think I might be a little off my math there, but that's a good reason.
If you double it, it'd be 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you. Somewhere in that ballpark, I don't think it's acceptable still because remember they told us that 9-7 is the goal.
Right.
So it's still not acceptable. So thus he should be let go according to their own standards. But I think if you do that, I guess we can argue that hey, next time around we will be 9-7 if we're heading in that direction. Right. But it's a long battle. I just lots of questions this year. Outside of the coach, what's Goff going to do? Is he the guy going forward? Is he going to fall on his face? Is he going to it's a lot of question marks here that I don't know. And if knock on wood, I don't wish injuries on anybody. But if Goff goes down, we've seen. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. He's a couple steps back from obviously a few steps back from Stafford, but whoever was behind him was 10 steps behind him. So it was bad.
The guy Tim Doyle, he had the worst QB in like NFL history.
Yeah, that's our guy.
He wasn't even doing like the correct thing right. Like he was just like, Anyways.
Yeah. So we rolling out with Doyle.
Yeah, got anything else for the people?
Yeah, no, sir. I think we'll be back at you this weekend and maybe next week after after another Hard Knocks. But things should obviously ramp up once football season kicks off officially.
Yep.
But no, that's all I have.
All right. Till next time, people.
Peace.